Oh god, John, we're live. Hold on. Actually, hold on. I need to get all the audio to be working correctly. And go ahead and talk, y'all.
Hello. Is the Q&A going to be separate, or is it just going to go straight into it?
Wait, go ahead and talk.
Hello? Is the Q&A
there
going
you
to be
go.
separate, or is it going to go straight into it?
It's gonna be. We're gonna make this mostly a Q&A.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just gonna talk for like a couple minutes, and then we'll just go ahead.
Lies.
I know.
Oh, you guys have no faith. None faith. None faith you guys have.
Just
You're
know
right.
more than you know yourself.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
I never claimed I did.
I know. Just saying.
Okay. So this has just gone terribly. So, the first thing I want to talk about some things we should be talking about. One of the first things is that we've just opened up Kaylin's mentorship, and we're starting to taking names, and that's going well. The January February class, as far as I'm concerned, is completely sold out. Was there? Wait, you told me that there was maybe like one or two positions potentially left, right, John?
Yeah, we have
I think it was like two. Like some
we
people
have
kind of
one
transitioned.
2-month class for
1 2 month
January and
class.
February,
And
and then that's for morning, and then one evening 2-month class. So we have 4 basic classes.
Yeah,
I
basic.
see. Okay, so we'll probably send out an email, or we'll kind of re-hit everybody
Yeah.
on the waiting list.
I think we'll just open it up on the website or something.
Yeah. Either way, that's going well, and so we're prepping up for that. But while in the meanwhile, what we've done to kind of move forward with all this stuff, we actually opened up a Creative Juice Expo, and the Creative Juice Expo is basically going to be a miniature like expo where it's a 2-day event where I have about 12 people speaking during the event, and each person's going to be talking about their life and the career path that led them to where they are today, and really kind of help anyone who's in the same position, looking for that same type of motivation and inspiration. And that's kind of the goal of it, is really just to kind of inspire people. The real intention is to make people understand that there's more than one way to make a successful career in this industry, and that has a lot to do with just like really persevering and working really hard. Because one of the things that I think colleges do, John, do you mind muting your mic for a second? Yeah. Oh yeah. And by the way, if you guys have questions, feel free to start asking them, and John will start cataloging them. But as I was saying, like when you go to school or college, whatever, they generally teach you that to make a living, you have to go to college and then get a job or whatever, right? Which isn't entirely false, but it's definitely misleading to think that that is the only way to really make a living for yourself. Obviously, there's alternatives, many ways that you can go about living your life and making a decent wage. And so this convention and expo, I mean, is really just about having people that need more answers and interacting with those artists on that level. We don't just have artists. We also have people that are involved that are like lawyers. We have Gumroad. The Gumroad people are going to be there and talking about that kind of stuff as well. And then we also have photographers and sculptors, and then artists, 2D artists, educators, all that kind of stuff. We have people that are mostly in the concept art world, just because I only know that many. But I'm going to keep making this event. Right now my goal is to make it biannually, but we'll see how it goes. But I definitely want it at the least be annually. So if not, again, sometime this year, we're going to do it again next year. and just kind of have it keep going and just keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where it's a huge event, and it's an opportunity for entrepreneurs and people who want to make a career for themselves to go to this event and be able to actually have an opportunity to succeed in that. Because one of the goals is I also want to have big companies start to look at this expo as a real place to hire and pick up new and fresh talent, and I think it's something possible. And so, not necessarily pick up new talent in the way that you would say conventionally. Conventionally, it's more like picking new talent up in terms of like we want to have your TV show or your comic book or your movie or whatever on our TV station, or we want to have your stories on our whatever, and or we want to pick up your comic book, we want to pick up your video game or whatever it is, and just kind of start to get people inspired and really learn what it's like, you know. And that's really the main goal. It's the biggest goal for the expo. And so I think it's going to be good. I think people are going to really enjoy it and learn a lot. I have a lot of people that are involved that are actually really, really good artists and really good speakers. So I think it's going to go well. But that's one piece of news, and I think that's something that you guys will be interested in, I'm sure. But for anyone who's really more interested, I actually have my website has a link to it directly. So if you just go to my website, you should be able to see it on the very front page. If not, it's just creativejuiceexpo.com is the website that we've created. I made a Facebook group as well, or a Facebook page. And what I'm going to do with the website when there's no event or whatever, I'm going to try to host miniature challenges and things that will promote people to kind of work on their creative adventures throughout the year to the next event, and then have it something that's alive, even though it's not like we don't get together so often. But it's something that I really am looking forward to. It's kind of my plan. I don't know what to call it in the business, but it's just like the plan B of my business structure, because I want to educate people. That's one of my biggest goals, is to educate people and to also create opportunities for myself to be able to work and make things that I want to work on as well. And so, with that being said, the next piece of news.
Dumb.
Oh no! The next piece of news.
You never told me about this. You can't just create.
None of your business.
And not
it's
tell
none
me.
of your business,
Dude. I have to find out through my students. I go to class. They're like, "Hey, Caleb, you going to Creative Juice?" I was like, "The fuck is that?" They're like, "AJ's making his own Comic-Con." I was like, "How? Where did this happen?"
It's none of your business.
How long has this been in the making, AJ? Don't lie to me.
Several months.
What? We hung out like a week ago. Like, you didn't think at any point in time you'd be like, "Hey, man, make my own Comic-Con." Like, that's news. You're like, "Yeah,
it is funny. You never heard about it,
right?" It's like, "How you doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, wife's good, kid's good." And then I leave, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's make our own Comic-Con."
Well, he's keeping business to business. And
Apparently.
friends.
See where our friendship is.
You're meaningless to me. So, so one of the things that I think is going to be fun about the event, though, is really just just really getting people to meet each other as well. I want to make it a nice event. One of the things that we're doing too is we're going to have a contest in terms of creating your own IP and your own ideas, and really being able to pitch it and show people in the industry kind of like what you have, and just get people excited about your own work, and as well as when actually give people money for it. So it's a kind of a goal of mine to make it a real thing. So, but because there's a lot of conventions out there for us artists and for us creative people, for us to learn our craft and learn our ability to draw better. But there's not so many about just like how to become a artist and what that means, like what it is to be a artist, not like how to become like an artist, like how to draw better, but like just how to be one, how to live with a lifestyle in terms of an artist to, like no one really teaches that, no one teaches you some important things about becoming someone, and I think the event is really kind of shaped around that idea. Colleges don't really, not too many that I know of, go in there and really dig deep into what it means to become someone awesome, right? And then when you finally get there, what do you do now, right? And so that's kind of the goal. And aside from that, though, everything is, I think, is going to go really well. And like I said, the next piece of news is that we've made a internal Facebook group. It's private. For anyone who's ever been interested in joining a mentorship before, this is even more of a thing that should really entice you. We've hosted a Facebook group in which everybody that's involved are actively communicating to each other, hanging out with each other, and talking with each other. And really, it's something that we built for our students to really communicate with other students and really hang out and become buddies and stuff like that. And it's going really well, and a lot of people are really enjoying this. And what we're trying to do, too, is to add more to that. And one of my goals is to potentially make this thing a less of a private event and have some parts of it a little bit more open to, just a lot more artists. But I definitely want to keep that exclusive angle to it as much as possible. But I want people to know that this exists and this is something that's really powerful. And I find that there's something that we can do to try to provide a little bit of this to the rest of the community. And I'm still working on how that could look and feel without really jeopardizing what we've already kind of started, because it feels good already, and there's nothing really that I think is inherently bad about what we're starting, because everybody that's involved loves it. Everyone's learning a ton from each other, and we're doing like cash prizes like every week, and it's like really cool because like all these people are doing a lot of artwork, and we're putting out these ideas of people to not only help each other but also to really kind of like have some motivation into doing stuff that you might actually make some money and move forward with, And so I think there's something about that I really enjoy. It's not just about the glory of doing a good piece of artwork. It's like actually trying to do more. And Brainstorm is already kind of doing something that's really powerful, and I want to do more of that. I want to try to really what I'm trying to do is trying to set up like how can we make people get together and talk to each other more actively, really engage with each other in a positive way. And that's something that's going on behind closed doors, but it's going well. And then the next piece of news is that in moving forward for December, we're going to be rehashing a whole bunch of new tutorials and videos, so be prepared for that. I'm going to be pumping out a lot, and it's going to be fun. And one of the goals with this month is that I'm going to be pumping out a lot of tutorials that are mostly tool-driven and fundamental-driven, like a lot of fundamental stuff. A lot of people wanted like a lot of these specific kinds of like how to finish a painting, how to animate, like all this kind of crazy stuff. And I find that as valuable as those are, it's clear to me that people care more about my Painting with Confidence series, my Design with Confidence series, and I think they want more of just like a really strong sense of how to get better on a very foundational level. And honestly, that's probably the most important aspect of getting better anyway. And so I feel like I'm just going to focus on that and really move forward from there. And obviously I'm going to be pumping out a little bit more things here and there that are maybe a little bit more specifically and tailor-made in December. But the goal is to really get people inspired and motivated in a very, constructive way. And then also the goal with the tools is to create like a really try to start to simplify your guys' workflow, and I'll be doing that for you in some essence because I'm really good at that. And so what I'm trying to do is create a system in which I can really share with others that they can like improve on, and demonstrate that in the videos and all that kind of stuff as well. But anyway, with that, I am done. And so now we can go ahead and begin the Q&A. Kayla, do you have anything you want to say? How's your guys' game going? How's that? And Kaylin died. Kaylin just left the room.
Is he here?
I don't think so. I think
Kaylin.
he just left. Is he in the Skype chat? Did he just leave without us noticing?
He said, "Gotta poop."
He went to go poop. Awesome. Thanks, Kaylin.
Just left you hanging. All right, you want to take the first question then?
Yeah, sure.
Or you want to wait?
And by the way, the questions don't have to be related to anything that's been said before. Like, this is definitely an opportunity if you want more information on Creative Juice stuff. Please let us know. But if you do not care for that, You want to talk about other things? Let's do it.
So first one says, mine is not related, unfortunately, but here it is. Anthony, I've read that after you majored in programming, you spent 2 years grinding for 10 hours a day before landing your first job as a concept artist. How did you manage to get so much free time to focus on nothing but art? Was the solution living with your parents or something else?
I went to school. That's what it was. I was in school. Spent all my time when I was in school doing just that. Is Kalen back? I think I hear him. I can smell him.
Smell 'em.
He's not back. It's fine. It's not important. Yeah, that's most of that is true. I actually spent about a year and a half working my butt off, and what I did was I just spent all that time just not dicking around and just working. Because here's the thing, man. Like, I'm even more motivated these days than I was even back then. But here's the thing. Like when I first started school, I was 23. I was like 23 years old. Right? I had my fair share of life at that moment. You know, I had a real good understanding of how hard life can be and how hard life was to me. And there's a lot of things in my life that I really struggled with, and I still struggle with. And because of those things, those life lessons that I, made as I got older. Oh boy, here's the Joker.
What? Shut up, dude. I'm talking. I take a shit.
I was like talking to you, and you were just like gone.
Dude, I wrote on the Skype that I take my dog out.
I know. Who cares?
Stack of squirrels and shit, man. What the fuck am I doing?
So, what I ended up doing when I first started, when I went to school, cause I was very aware of like life, right, and just life is rugged, and I just did not squander that time. Every moment that I had opportunity to work on what I should be working on, I did, and because of that, it really kind of put a fire underneath my butt, and I really worked my butt off, and if you do not have that kind of time and you just like wish you did, then don't worry, because there's people who do not have that kind of time like I did and still found ways to really and truly improve in their artwork in very meaningful ways. And so it's not something that you should be upset with in terms of like, hey man, like I can't, like Anthony Jones has way more of an advantage than me. Like that sucks. I wish I had that. Like, no, don't think of it in terms of that. Think of it more in terms of like, okay, like he devoted a lot of time into this. I need to devote a lot of time into my craft as well. And it doesn't mean like the same amount. You can devote like 5 to 6 hours. That's enough. That's like more than enough time to devote to like something every day. And if you could do that, you should do it. If you can't, even 2 hours is, just as long as you are investing some time. What's not good is investing no time, right? If you invest no time into things that you want to try to achieve and the goals that you want to, make, and you can't stick to them, then you have to own up to that and find a workaround. It's just how things roll, and so that's pretty much kind of what I have to say about that. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about BlizzCon.
BlizzCon.
Oh, okay. Well, Kayla wants to talk about BlizzCon. Let's go for it.
Did you go? Did you go to BlizzCon?
No, I didn't go this year.
Really? It's like right by you. How did you not go?
It's not free, and I left Blizzard before. I left
Like
Blizzard.
I tried to sneak in and they caught me. So
I'm sure I could have if I wanted to, but I was just working on some stuff.
Next time. Well, I mean, I feel like we should talk about industry stuff, right? That's a big thing. New game came out, right? Or a new trailer came out. Everyone's talking about it. What do you think? That's what I want to know. What does AJ think about Overwatch?
Well, I already knew about it for a long time, and I was excited. I actually worked on a little bit of the cinematic.
Right? Arnold Saying's God. Arnold Saying, right?
Yep, Arnold's awesome. Yeah, I worked on the cinematic a little bit, just a little bit.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Weren't you gonna work with Arnold Saying back in Scotland?
I know, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, back when he worked at Real Time Worlds.
Real Time Worlds before it. Rest in peace. Are they still around?
No, you're right. Rest in peace.
Rest in. All right, push them. Let her out. Have the rest in peace hour. With
I
AJ.
think they came back because I heard there's another crackdown coming down, but people are
Oh,
just
they
like,
did. They came back.
people are just like, what the? I thought you
Phoenix
guys died.
down. All right, Phoenix down. They got Phoenix down. Good for them.
Yeah.
So my question is right for clairvoyant AJ, who seems to know everything. When are game studios gonna just fucking make cinematic movies? When are they gonna do that? When is that gonna happen? When is Blizzard gonna make a movie that's like giving Pixar and DreamWorks a run for their money?
I don't know.
Is that gonna happen?
And
Like,
it's not
I
like game
watched the
studios
cinematic.
can do that. Like only people that can do that is Blizzard and probably Final
Blur.
Fantasy. Well, Blizzard's not like a video game studio.
Yeah, well, they make trailers, but you know what I mean. Like,
No, I don't.
no, I don't. Stupid.
Video game studios cannot make those trailers. Only Blizzard. Who else has a cinematic department? Yeah, Blizzard, Final Fantasy, the Squaresoft peeps.
But would you say that the engines are getting better where you could do stuff in the engine, right? Would you agree
Yeah,
with that?
yeah. I think what's going to happen in terms of that stuff is really just like people are going to like totally just be making cinematics on their own. Like right now, me and the other Kalen, I have another friend named Kalen. We're working on a little short using Unreal as our renderer, and I did a couple tests and it looked pretty good. It looked pretty like Kalen was just wrote back. He was just like, "What the? That looks pretty good." I was like, "Yeah, dude, I told you. Like, we can make things look pretty good." And this is me like not even putting like a lot of effort into making it look good. I was just like, I just kind of put the bare minimum, just to kind of get something out. And and he was convinced, and I was like, "Yeah, man, we can make a pretty decent cinematic trailer." And then after that, yeah, we can make our own shorts. Like just make shorts, like animated shorts.
Exactly. So when's that? So would you say that you think that that's where it's going, possibly, like in the future, that Blizzard may just be like, you know what? Let's just make Overwatch the movie and make it like an hour long. I mean,
Yeah, they totally can if they wanted to.
why
It's,
don't they? You were there. What's up? What's going on over there? Actually,
well,
can you talk?
honestly, I really can't talk about a lot of the stuff you're trying to ask me. Stop pushing on me, bro. What the hell's wrong with you?
Dude, just answer the question, bro. No one's here. No one can hear. No one's in my room except for Toby, the dog. He's not gonna tell nobody.
Oh boy. Yeah, like a lot of the stuff that they plan is like seriously top secret too. It's funny because a lot of the things that they plan to do is pretty exciting and really fun. But one of the biggest things that they're already trying to do is make a movie, which is a World of Warcraft movie, which I'm really excited about. And
That's
so,
the live. Is that live action? That's live action, right?
yeah, that's live action. Legendary Pictures is making it, and Duncan Jones is directing it, which
Well,
I
I think
think is
ILM worked on it. I think. Or they're working
yeah,
on it.
absolutely. Yeah, they absolutely did work on it. I remember seeing some screenshots of the orcs and stuff, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I think like Chris Costa's working on it. I guess.
Yeah, he is tight. I did a lot of effects for that thing, so
Yeah.
that'd be cool to see.
You think how? What do you think about that? You think it's gonna do good? You think it's gonna be like?
Of course, it's gonna do good. How is it not going to do good?
I don't know, man. It's like. Well, I'm trying to think. How many live action movies from video games have we seen that have done really, really well?
It actually that defeats the point. Actually, it's not that it's like how many video game companies or how many video game movies. Like you cannot compare it. You know why? It's because no other video game company has a fan base that reached 12 million people. Like
For
I think
that?
League of Legends is like the only one that I can think is comparable, like in terms of that. And there's a lot of Chinese companies or Chinese games, but none of them are like story driven like Blizzard can get. Like this is like this is going to be a phenomenon. Like people are like even if you didn't play the game, you know about the game. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like Blood Rain 2, Vengeance of whatever the hell that's about, right? I don't know.
Fuck is Blood Rain?
Exactly. And that's a video game adaptation to a movie. That's my point. It's not like Tomb Raider or Resident Evil's a huge success. That was a runaway success.
Yes.
It turned into like some weird like action adventure horror movie, but it was a successful one, right? But my point is, it's like this is kind of almost Lord of the Rings crazy. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what I'm thinking when I think about it. I'm like, is it
yeah,
Lord of the Rings? Like,
yeah. And
I
so I think
don't
so. I
know.
think it's going to be huge. Now, whether it's a great film, I think even still doesn't matter. You know, like the film has to be tremendously terrible for them to be like, for people to be like, I can't watch this movie. You know, like it has to be so bad that the word gets out so like wildfire that that people will, before they get to go watch it, like as like I go to buy a ticket, someone runs up to me, "Don't go! It's terrible!" You know, it's gonna, I,
I don't know.
it's gonna be like the Star Wars all over again if that's the case, right? Like Star Wars, the prequels. When you first watch the Star Wars prequels, you leave there kind of like you know something bad happened, but you can't put your finger on it. It couldn't be because of the movie, though, right? And you can't like you just leave the movie like, yeah, we watched Star Wars, and it was excited, and you watched the whole trilogy, and you let all that happen, and then eventually someone's like, wait, I don't think those were actually that good, you
So
know?
so if it does suck, we won't know until like five
Until
years
it's too
from
late, exactly.
now. Until
And
they're like, we got your money.
yeah. I really believe that because it's just going to be so huge. I mean, think about it
So
like this: BlizzCon itself, just BlizzCon, the event, sells out to tens of thousands of people, and they always just like it. Just always is like that every time,
I've
you
never been to
know?
BlizzCon, but they sell e-tickets. That's weird to me.
Yeah, and then those freaking sell like hotcakes. You know what I mean? Look, they put out a freaking unicorn like mount thingy in Warcraft, I believe, or just like some flying horse mount Pegasus thing, like a long time ago. And it was like one of the first like in-game things you can buy with real money, you know. And that sold like millions of dollars worth of tickets, or sorry, millions of dollars worth of copies. And that's just like a freaking little flying mount,
Okay,
you
so
know.
if it does good, do you think it will open it up for other studios to try to do it if it does really well?
No, because there's only a very few studios who could do that. You know, it's like game studios. I don't know too many game studios who say I'm gonna make video games, and then once I'm done making video games, we're gonna make like movies off our video games. It's not. It doesn't necessarily work that way, right? If it just happens that way, it happens that way. But if it doesn't, I don't think it's gonna be like that. What I'm trying to say is the industry is gonna shape in a whole different way, where people are just gonna make movies and films. Like game studios, like making a video game is hard enough, and then making a cinematic department too. It's like that's just too much work. You got to choose, especially if you're a small team. You know,
Uh-huh.
you can't be like we're gonna have epic like cinematics and we're gonna have epic gameplay. It's like you got to choose. See, that's why Blizzard can do it. If they do it, it's because they've been making games for a while. They've been making cinematics for a while. They have a pretty good understanding how to do things well. So when they do it, it's going to be fine. It's going to work out all right.
Okay. All right. So then what's next question is then what's a game that you think would be a dope movie? Uh what game is overdue for a movie adaptation?
I don't know. I don't know.
I need Metal Gear Solid. I need that to be a movie, like now.
Dude, they're like games or like minute movies. Like if
They
you
pretty
play them,
much are movies.
they're like a soap opera of like a TV show. It's like playing a long, drawn out game espionage TV show called Metal Gear.
Yeah.
It's just like
That or give me like another Final Fantasy one, but like I don't know, just make it like good. Oh, I actually like the Spirits Within. I will say that. I'm not like one guy that actually liked it,
it
but
was good. I think what needs to happen is like I don't mind video games to movies. That doesn't bother me. You know, like whenever people feel bothered about these types of things, or like that really like oh my gosh, they're ruining. They made this movie suck, whatever, or like they ruined
we're in childhood.
my childhood, or ruined my whatever. It's like no, they didn't. You can still play the old game. People still played Mario 64, man. You know. Like, as far as they're concerned, any other Mario afterwards doesn't really matter, you know. And so it's like we were just watching tons of these like Mario 64 things the other day. It was cool, and so I'm like really on the fence on that kind of stuff. Like, I really don't. It doesn't bother me when they make remakes or do things like that. Um, what I care about is when there's a good one, when there's a good movie and good thing out, I watch it. That's it. That's it. If it's good, I'll watch it. If it's not good, it's unfortunate that I spend money on that. It costs me a lot of money. No, because spending money on it does two things. One, I'm like out of money now. I could have invested on a different movie, and because like when I spend money, especially when I go watch with my family or something, it costs me a lot more than it would
Shit's
just
expensive,
somebody
bro.
by yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
and plus it's some money going to the development of this movie that might not have been good, and they should make it. You know,
No, that makes sense. It makes sense. I mean,
which is fine. That's my only complaint if I were to have one. But other than that, I'm fine. I'm like whatever. Bad movies do not affect me in any way, shape.
well, I mean, we think about it, right? How many, right? So World of Warcraft, right? They come out with the movie. How many users? How many people play the game? How many
I think
users
right
do
now
they
they're at
have?
7 to 8 million people,
That's a lot. So if every single one of those person goes, they're making at least
which
what?
is gonna happen most likely.
Yeah.
So when they're making this movie, they're like, we're at least guaranteed $8 million. Well, times whatever the price of the movie
I
ticket,
was I was gonna say more like 80 million.
right? And then
Right?
they're probably gonna take at least their mom or their dad or their kid, right? If they have
Yeah.
kids.
80 million dollars is a successful box office
Successful?
opening. Yeah,
Okay. Just
and
curious.
and then when they release the DVD, and then they do all the freaking merchandise for it, it's just gonna be unbelievable success. I just can't see it not being a success. You know,
No?
and like they really have to something terrible has to happen. Like Chris Messin has to like rape children like the weekend of the movie releasing. Like something tremendously crazy, awful, where people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to support this Metzen guy anymore. But he's not gonna do that, right? That's
So that's
obvious.
the
Like
only way you see
it's
this movie
like
tanking,
really
like a
yes,
sexual scandal.
yeah. And even then, I would say debatably, it still
Even then, you're
probably
like,
yeah.
well, he kind of had it coming. That
It's
baby
like, well,
should
it's
look
just
like that. We're
it's
still gonna
just
go see it.
medicine. It's just medicine.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll still go see it.
we'll still go watch it. Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I just like even when they first announced it, I already knew I was gonna watch it. And I saw a lot of the concepts and stuff like that, and I kind of was like trying to avoid it at work. I was trying to like not look at it, and I couldn't help myself. I had to look at it. And I was just like, oh my gosh,
Why
this is
would
gonna
you?
be
Why
so
would you
cool.
not want to look at it? Is it because you're a Warcraft fan and
I'm
you
just
don't
a fan of
like?
Blizzard. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm still
Well, I know you're a
very
Warcraft fan, so is that why you're like, I don't want to?
yeah. I'm a big fan of their games. I'm a big fan of their company.
I look
So
at it.
I just kind of like, for example, when I went and watched Interstellar, I watched very few trailers because I already knew I was probably gonna like it a lot, and I ended up liking it so much. And so,
Yeah. Did you go see it in IMAX?
no, I'm gonna go watch it again in IMAX. We
Dude, go
watched
watch
it.
it in fucking the Spectrum IMAX. It's fucking nuts. Like
Yeah,
your
I
your
heard it
head
is.
moves, your head like moves as it like tracks the spaceships. You're like, what? Like you moves from like the bottom left to the upper right. Like your head's moving. Like my neck hurt. I was like, this is awesome. I haven't had that feeling since when I first saw like Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar is a good one.
Yeah, it's good.
Ready for some questions? Yeah.
Yeah, let's
What?
try to answer some questions here.
Oh no.
Oh
Why,
no.
why are you so eager to talk about like Overwatch and stuff? Are you so excited about Overwatch?
No, I was just curious on your thoughts on it. I hear a lot of mixed reviews. I mean that's kind of a big thing, like, right? Because Blizzard, I mean,
Yeah.
you work there, and Blizzard hasn't made like anything new,
Are you
right,
gonna
for a
play?
long ass time, and they just canceled, right? Didn't they cancel the Titan thing, right?
Well, in technical terms, yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, so that's like, didn't see that shit coming, right? You're like, oh, I hear this
Well,
new
you got
game.
to think. Yeah, you got to think. Well, if Titan got canceled, then all of a sudden they have this huge game. Like, what really got canceled,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Like, you can't just make a game like like that at that quality and that cinematic. Like, oh, we canceled the game a month ago. We better hurry up and make a game and cinematic for it. There's obviously they're smarter than that. They went with the better game is what I'm trying to get at. You know,
okay. No,
they
I didn't say they weren't like not making the game, but I mean, again, just they haven't done anything necessarily like a new IP, so I think that's a pretty big deal because it's like one of the biggest companies in the world. So I'm just like, damn. Shit looks tight though. Like I'll probably play it
yeah.
because
Well,
so
yeah, one of the things about that game that really is awesome. It's just it's it's fun. It really is. Like people who are playing it love it already. And it's because Blizzard really, the reason why Titan got canceled is because it wasn't fun compared to this game, And one thing I want to say about the whole people, like a lot of people are like talking, a lot of negativity as well as positive
Yeah, there's some
reviews.
negative Nancy's out there for sure.
And anyone who's out there is thinking that it's just come on, like it's just what do you expect Blizzard to do? Just make another Warcraft game? One of the things that Blizzard themselves like admitted to, he's like, we don't want to be the Warcraft company. We want to be Blizzard. And Blizzard used to make other games. They made a racing game. One of their first games they ever made was like a racing game. And people don't realize that that's what they were, a game company that made a lot of different games. It just happened that Blizzard games that were successful were the Warcraft, Starcraft, Diablo franchises. And now Diablo is starting to fall on the wayside. Warcraft is basically paying all their bills, and then Hearthstone's starting to come into the forefront. But Hearthstone is again just more of Blizzard Warcraft game, right? And then they started doing the All Stars. But then again, that's just taking all the Blizzard franchise stuff and just it's like all of this is like still the same few franchises that they have and they've been making for years, for 17 years, right? And that's just crazy. And so they're like, let's make a new game, and they've envisioned a game that's a little bit more contemporary, a little bit more not so much so high tech and not so sci-fi and not so fantasy, like somewhere in the between. And they've never made a shooter, but they've always been a big fan of shooters, so this is the solution, right? And when Blizzard takes a genre like, StarCraft, which is like an RTS, like, StarCraft and Warcraft, or Diablo, like dungeon crawler action RPG games, or World of Warcraft, MMO, like whenever they jumped into these genres, they became powerhouses in them, And I believe that they can do it again. I think this could be a powerhouse competitive.
It's gonna be powerhouse.
Yeah, it's gonna be a competitive like first-person shooter. It really is.
All right. So what about the people that are like, it's Team Fortress? What do you say to that?
Because it's not Team Fortress. Team Fortress. Team Fortress is Team Fortress. It's like red and blue. This is not just red and blue, right? You have your classic roles, but every shooter has the same types of roles. Right? Just the thing with Team Fortress is it's tunified. So everything and anything that's tunified is Team Fortress. When Team Fortress came out, people were comparing it to Pixar, right?
Yeah.
Like it looks like The Incredibles. Oh, so stupid, that game. It looks like The Incredibles. It's like, or it's just a really good game and its aesthetic stands out. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen. You know what's great about Overwatch is it looks. It's a first-person shooter that's stylized, right? But the stylized is not. If I had to compare it to anything, it would be more Street Fighter than it would be like Street Fighter, like Marvel versus Capcom, like that, like whole Capcom look.
Well, that's probably the Arnold sayingness of it.
Exactly, and that's cool. It's not like it's not like a Leyendecker painting. It's more like a udon, like Sketchfest, right?
Yeah, it looks sick.
And it looks great. Yeah, it's like if you know anything about art other than just like art, cartoony stuff is Disney. This is why this is why a lot of like animes aren't very popular in America as they are overseas, because everywhere else people are a little bit more mature in the sense that anything just because it's a cartoon doesn't make it for kids all the time. This is clearly the same case scenario, Western mentality. It's sort of annoying, because I belong to the same kind of societal thinking, but it's just like, whatever, man. What's going to happen is the game's going to come out, people are going to still buy it and play the crap out of it, and then they're going to fall in love with it, and they're going to forget this whole fiasco of Team Fortress look like. Because Team Fortress has its look, and it's not the same. At all. Like, not even, like, it's just because there's proportion changes, like, but their proportion changes are more in line with, like, Capcom, like, it's stylized but realistic, where Team Fortress is, like, more animation heavy,
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same. If you, like, have any real indication of, like, what's going on in terms of artistic aesthetic, you would be able to pay attention to this stuff. Just because it was a first-person shooter, and it has some style to it, doesn't make it Team Fortress. And doesn't that make you kind of like, why would you fight that fight? Fight the good fight. There needs to be more games that are stylized in first-person shooter that are populated by the
I
mainstream,
agree.
right? Fight the good fight. Even if you don't like the game or the aesthetic, like, just try to encourage that all games don't have to have military, like modern military attire looking super realistic all the time. Or we already have a lot of that. We don't need to keep adding to it. Let's try to invent more.
Okay.
All right, let's just get into the questions. We got about 20 minutes. That's more time than we usually get. Nice.
Yeah, very true.
First one is.
And we answered one of them, which is cool. And then you went into this whole, let's talk about Overwatch. And I'm like, what the hell? Feeling's weird today. Like, I feel like someone's at his house right now, and there's like a gun, like to his dog's head. Let's get Anthony to spill the beans on Overwatch. He worked over there. I'm just like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, Kaylin? Tell them more about Overwatch. I mean, tell me more about Overwatch.
Just tell me.
All right, first question says, will there be a fair portion of the expo devoted to the business of protecting and selling IPs?
Yeah, actually, there's a lawyer, Jeffrey Rose. He's going to be talking exactly about that type of stuff. Like I said, this is not just an event for just like, how do you become an artist? Because there's a lot of things. Like I went to a expo the other day, not the other day, but like a month or so ago. It was Indiecade, and we went to a business panel, and it was one of the most informative ones that I went to that week. And it was like, why don't this type of information is more fluent? Like this needs to be well known to people who want to make things, and it was cool. And I wanted to kind of, like I'm trying to say, I want to educate people. I want people to be able to understand that there's an alternative to your career path, and that doesn't mean, because right now the whole idea of starting your own company, making your own business is almost like you do it or you don't, right? Either you make it or you're just straight up like you just like, it's like you're all in or you're all out, right? Like you either try to become an entrepreneur and make tremendous amounts of sacrifices, or you go to the safe route and go to college and get a job, which, as time is showing, that's not actually a very safe route either, right? I'm trying to basically say that none of them are going to be the easy way out, but none doesn't mean that one is a better option than the other. Like right now, Kalen is pursuing a lucrative career in terms of starting his own company with his buddy John. If this game goes well, they're going to definitely make their own company. I put my money on that. And they're making a game, and they're using whatever resources they have, and they're building it intelligently, and they're living afloat, with these side jobs that they're working on. There's alternative ways, and there's ways that people can do this. And I want to educate people. I want people to know that there is a way to do it that doesn't jeopardize you as a family person either. If you have like a family, because I have a family, and I take a lot of pride that I'm a good father, good husband, and I also work really hard at my own dreams, and I feel that I can achieve them with my family circumstances. A lot of people feel and try to blame their family, and maybe not directly, but indirectly blame their family or their friends or some sort of other type of situation in terms of why they can't achieve their dreams. And I want this event to kind of really hit on anybody and everybody, and I'll be definitely hitting on those types of people, to really say, stop thinking that way, because it's not true. And so that's kind of my goal.
Okay, get it. My game as well. I'm making my own Comic-Con thing. I'm not gonna tell you about it until like the week of.
It's not the week of, bro. You didn't ask the right question.
Next question says, I have class that day with Larry. Should I miss it to come to the expo? Because I want to be a concept artist.
I know, it's one of my students. Yeah. Tell Larry to fuck off. But do it from like a far enough distance where he can't sprint and catch you. Like, because Larry's pretty big.
Yeah. On the non-joking side, Larry will let you go. I'm sure he's a smart guy. He'll and we're all
Yeah.
buddies, and he understands that this is probably a really good event for you to be attending. So he's not going to be like, you better be in my class. If
Yeah.
you're not here, if I see your face, if I see your face on any
Better
of the
not
pictures, yeah, on any of the pictures at this event, you said your brother was sick. You lying sack of sacks.
Yeah, that goes for anyone though. Like in general,
It's
like
only a
if you are in school or you like, especially school for art, and your school or teacher like can't not like understand that you're doing something for your career, then that's probably not a school you want to be at in general. I mean, that's just like me speaking.
Yeah, or an instructor you want to listen to, right?
Right? Because like I teach a portfolio 2 class, right? And there are a lot of times where people were like, my students don't get their work done, and I'm like, yo, why didn't you get your work done? And she's like, oh, I have this freelance assignment. It's a really big assignment for freelance. I'm getting paid for it. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever you had to do today, fuck that. Just do the freelance and make that dope so you can get more work. You know, like I understand that them doing like some random work for me isn't gonna help them as much as them like working with the client and like getting money and getting you know. So then I say, okay, well, that's like the only reason you should not turn in homework is because you're too busy being like badass and getting work, you know.
Because you're already working.
Because you're already working, right?
How dare you already working?
Yeah. So like, but if you come to me and are like, oh, I don't have my work done, why? It's like, oh, Advanced Warfare came out. Then I'm gonna be like, you're an idiot and stop it, right? Yeah. But if you tell me like, if I get done on my student, I'm like, yeah, why'd you do it? And they're like, oh, well, because I got a job. I'm like, oh, well, then carry on. Like, then I just shut up. And I'm like, all right, like, he gets it. So that goes for anyone. So if you're in school and your teacher's like, what? You want to go to an expo to get experience and learn and to better your craft without doing your nutritional science homework? Fuck you. Like, I would be like, yeah, I'm going anyway. That or just play sick. Just say you're sick. But I think the only reason I asked that question is because Larry teaches at my school. I got him hired, and he's like actually like a really good teacher. He teaches game design, and he's like really smart.
You know, actually, Larry should come. He should make it a field trip.
Yeah,
because
he should.
If you're in game design and you're like making your own games and stuff, like it'll be a good event. I'll definitely be talking about game design stuff when I'm there. One of my goals is to try to have something there.
It's scary, actually. His class before, right? He made all their students do game pitches for like small cell phone games, right? And like some of them were getting out some bomb ideas, and I was like, "What?"
Oh, Bea's here. Said Delilah is also listening to Papa and Uncle Kalen.
Yes.
What's up, Delilah?
Oh, tell Bea, I got you a mug, Bea. I got you a toothless mug. It's sitting by my computer. I'm gonna bring it next week. Just for you. I'm gonna give that to AJ. So there you go. And I got Delilah's gift too. Can't come to her birthday.
Next question says, before getting your first job, was there ever a moment where you felt a strong fear of failing?
No, because I'd failed. I didn't have time to feel that strong sense of failure because I was too busy failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you fail once, you're kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Failing is part of the gig, man. Like, I don't really have too much to talk about on that, but like I would say, if you are afraid of failure, then you're gonna not be very successful. I think it's better to think of it like this: be prepared for failure is a better way of thinking it. Like, just assume that there's an ounce and a shred of opportunity for failure to happen. You know, versus like, oh, I shouldn't do this because I'm afraid. Because, you know, like Wayne Gretzky skates. Wayne Gretzky skates. Wayne Gretzky says, and one of my favorite quotes from him is, "You miss every shot that you don't take." Right? And so, I think it's better to just, like, you know, just expect failure and prepare for it. You know?
I don't think
whenever I'd ever prepare for failure, like, I've always found myself in a really bad position. And you know what else? You don't just prepare for failure, you also prepare for success too. Sometimes if you don't prepare for success, you end up becoming super successful, and then all of a sudden you don't know what to do with that success, and that success can lead to a really tremendous failure, right? Which is something that is again not talked about very often, and I want to talk about that in my event very badly. That's going to be like one of the main bullet points in my specific lecture. But like the whole idea I'm trying to do with this whole stuff is just really get people inspired. And as for failing, yeah, just be prepared for it. It's just gonna happen.
I think people try to like they get too afraid of the consequences of failure. Like,
yeah. So, and I'm not sure what the circumstances of which you're referring to, like how the scope of failure that you're referring. Like, what was it again? What was this question again, John? Say it again. Oh, he deleted it.
I said,
but like, what's the
before
worst
getting
that
your
can
first job, was there ever a moment where you felt
Okay. So the scope of your failure would be that you don't get the job. That's not bad, right?
Yeah,
you,
like
you just don't get a job. And
yeah,
then what do? You
it's-
didn't have a job before. So,
exactly. So it's like it's not like if you don't get a job, it's not like if you fail that you're now dealing with this new feeling and this new sense of experience that you've never dealt before in your entire life. So you don't know what to do. You've already been dealing with it. So it's just like, yeah, like I don't get the job, so that's what I've already not had a job, so nothing really changes at that point. So
yeah,
like,
someone Facebooked me the other day, and they're really distraught. Someone told them, "You'll never make in this business, kid," like really harshly, man. And I was like,
who says that? That's
people
so
say
mean.
that. People say that. In fact, when I was at a lecture and when I was in Columbia for a lecture, the same thing happened to the person there, and I was like, "What?" But that made them awesome. They took that and they're just like, "I'm gonna be the best."
I feel like you have to be in a really dark place to be like, you look at their work and you look at the work and you look at them, and then look at their work again and then you look at them.
Some teachers just like that's kind of their way to really that's their instigation in terms of motivating people. I think there's better ways to
But I
do
think
that.
no,
But Mike Tracy, for example, like he used to do that all the time. Like I remember when Mike Tracy like did that to Chaz, and I was in the class. He's like, "You should just quit. You'll never make it in the game industry." And Chaz is like, "What?" He gets so mad.
yeah,
And to
Chaz-
this day,
Chaz-
he hates Mike Tracy. But Chaz works over at Blizzard now, right? So it's
Yeah.
like it's one of those things that like when you hear it, it either makes you or it breaks you, right? Like you hear that and you just quit, or you hear that and you say, "What?"
I feel like
You know?
it needs to be that discrepancy. Like you'll never make it if you continue to not work your ass off and not like do your work and not.
No, I know.
Be a
Like
douchebag.
these people are just like, "You'll
No,
never make
you'll
it."
never make it.
Yeah,
Ever.
no, that's
Like,
clearly.
ever.
That's what I said to the guy. I just like was like, "That's clearly false. Like if you work hard, you will achieve success. It's just impossible not to. If you
So
do
aggressive.
work your butt off, and no one can lie about that other than to yourself, right? You can tell all these people why you can't work hard. Like we had someone in one of our classes, and I said, "Be the person that tells the story to other people about how you had no time, everything was in your way, all these obstacles, all these things are holding you down. Be the person that tells that story about how that happened to you and how you got out of that. You know? Because it's easy to be the guy that has the story that says, "Oh, the reason I didn't achieve my success was because of this, that, this." You know? It's really easy to become that guy, and I'm trying to make people understand is that you don't, or that gal, you don't have to be. You can be the other person that talks about the same problems, the same tribulations, the same issues that were in your life, but then said, "And now I made it." You know? Be that person. Work towards that. Don't work towards agreeing with your own excuses and your own tribulations. And we've heard all kinds of great examples from all types of people on this earth in terms of success. You know? There's all kinds of people who've come from really bad backgrounds or really terrible things and really tremendously awful, stories, but they somehow found a way out of it, And I'm trying to convince most people, instead of saying you'll never make it, I'm trying to say that you can be that person that makes it.
You'll never make it.
But yeah, you can't make it if you keep lying to yourself. You keep trying to find reasons not to push forward.
So aggressive.
All right, here's an easy one. I'm 32 years old.
Cool.
Am I too old to start drawing?
No.
All right,
Nah.
next question.
Next question.
I'd like to know.
You're really not. You're just not.
Yeah. I'd like to know about art agencies. Anything about that?
During the expo, I think Dan probably will be the only one that I can think of that can really talk about that. Because we're gonna have me and the speakers are gonna, well, at least most of us are gonna have a lecture and talk to each other eventually at a dinner, and really kind of nail down what we want this event to be and how we want everyone to talk to one another, how that they want to talk to the audience and stuff. Because we want to make this event a really good one. I'm looking into things to put into the goodie bags and for everyone to have and walk out with some really cool stuff. But one of the things...
You get goodie bags?
Oh, yeah. You get like a sketchbook. For every purchase, you get a sketchbook from John Park.
You don't tell me anything, man.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry.
I'm not. Clearly, I shouldn't be.
Don't worry about it. I'm sorry, kid. Jeez, I didn't know I had to like.
It's like Oprah over here. Everyone gets a new car.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. Thanks, kid. Derailed. This is why I don't tell you anything. There's nothing good comes from it.
You'll never make it. You'll never make a Comic-Con. Good thing I never told you. Good thing I never said that to you. You'll never make a convention.
That stuff doesn't work to me. Whenever someone says never or always, I'm always like, really? And I investigate. I usually investigate. Anyways, go ahead.
Will creative juice be beneficial for beginning artists, or is it more tailored to artists of higher level?
I think definitely. It's like
definitely beginner.
Especially if you're a beginner, because people who are just starting out, if you just start out, you go to these places and all you would hear is like get a job, go to college, get a job. And what I'm trying to say is that this Expo is about saying that that's not the only option. The world is changing. Enterprises and businesses are going to be run differently, and you and everybody that's going to this event, my goal are going to be on the forefront of it. The whole reason why I'm building this event, because I know it's coming. Winter is coming, guys.
Winter's coming.
And
wait, it's coming?
Yeah, in February, early February, end of January.
Wait, by the way, you do know that that's during Super Bowl, right?
Oh, yeah. And all artists love Super Bowls. Come on.
I do.
I do too.
Now I feel like I'm not a douchebag. I like sports. They're like,
oh. You are a douchebag. And I am too. It's all right.
Super Bowl. All right, next question. Says, how many of the artists at the expo have already created a successful IP?
I think every single one, except for maybe a few people. Dan Levisi is probably the biggest name in that. He's like actively right now as we speak, like working on movie deals. And he's got like a director lined up, and I think it's gonna be good. But Dan will probably be the biggest one on that, and then probably after that would be Ash. Ash is another one, and then I know Mache is building his own comic book, so that's gonna be cool too. So I'm curious to where it's gonna be. I originally had David Levy a part of the venture, but I think his schedule kind of got conflicted. Maybe the next one he'll be at the next one, I'm sure.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Right, Super Bowl. Telling you, man.
Next question. It's actually almost 5 o'clock, so you want to just knock these out or keep going?
Yeah, let's just take it down.
Lightning.
Is that Carl?
Lightning round. Uh-oh. Is it Carl?
Is that Carl?
I don't know.
Alright. Next is it difficult for a traditional painter to get involved in the gaming industry?
No, but yes, but it's not impossible. You just gotta be,
really fucking good.
You just gotta really work, man. It's gonna be hard. Next, we had the lightning round these, and then we'll do the winner of the contest.
There was a contest?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what is this? Who are you?
Dude, we move fast, bro. You gotta stay with this.
Next question says, I remember you saying that you are friends with Aldi Austin. Her style is so much different than yours. Can't you and John kidnap her from Blizzard to lead a class or two?
I can probably ask her if she wants to. I don't think that's a big.
You can't talk about a kidnapping form. You gotta do it like secretly, you know.
Or I could just talk to her.
Yeah. He's like, really? Because I really had this whole kidnapping thing planned out.
I'll just communicate with words.
I was really going to go forward to kidnapping.
Let's do it.
He's already at her house. He's like, oh.
He's like, oh, so we're not going to do the kidnapping? Well, can we just do it anyway? Because I've already like put money on this.
Negative. Next.
When you were a little girl, AJ, did people make fun of your deep voice?
What the hell?
Track the IP, John. Get the IP.
When I was a little girl.
We'll find you. We'll find you.
Does this person think that I'm a woman, or are they insulting me, or are they joking? What's going on here?
Dude, you're getting trolled real hard, dude.
Yeah.
You little girl, you gonna take that shit? Get the
of all-
IP, John. Get the IP.
First of all, no one made fun of my deep voice. They were in awe, and second of all, I was the one who raffle stomped on other people's dreams. We'll say that for another stream about my adventures out of becoming a bully. I was a bully, man, in elementary school.
I remember that.
You know what? I can tell it. I can just tell.
I'll admit it.
The day that I came out of it, man, it was a real event. I remember it like so vividly because that day. So I moved around a lot, so I would always make friends, and sometimes my friends I would make weren't like good kids, and just because I wanted to keep friends, I was always kind of shape-shift myself to match whatever personality or what was supposed to be going down, And so anyway, I hung out with these kids, and we would always make fun of this kid because he had like a big nose, and we would always be like, big nose Patrick, big nose, and we just like stupid elementary jokes. And one day he stood up for himself, right? He got up to me, he came to my face, he's like, you gotta stop making fun of me, whatever, right? And I was like, what are you gonna do? Big nose.
Asshole.
Dude, yeah, exactly. No, exactly, right? And then so check that out. So he goes for it, he tries to fight me. And he swings and he misses. And when someone like tries to fight you, you fight back. And I punched him right in his nose, like so hard. He started like nose bleeding. And he started crying. No, he started crying, and then he ran away. And my friends were like, laughing at him some more. And I wasn't laughing. Like that, I looked at it was like one of those moments like in American History X, like where you just kind of like realize like you're a Nazi all of a sudden. And like I remember not laughing. I remember not being like I was like looking at him running away and crying, and then I looked at my kind of like my fist and stuff, and it was just like, if this is a movie, I'm the bad guy. I remember thinking just like that, like just totally like, if this is Karate Kid, I'm the one that sleeps at the legs, right? And I remember
you're
thinking,
the bad guy from Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
just really just a jerk, right? And I was like, okay. And then that was like the last day I hung out with those kids. And then like I never was like that ever again, And I was just like, I just was always genuinely nice to people and always try to help, and just because, Patrick, and hopefully that didn't traumatize Patrick. I'm sure.
Dude, it fucked up his life. You know that, right? He has popping his
I hope not. I hope not. But like,
how does that feel? You just ruined someone's life.
I know. But his
girlfriend doesn't get good jobs.
It's funny because we have a really good friend named Edgar, who's like one of the sweetest guys ever, and apparently he was like that kind of person. He's like just a trouble kid, and I'm like, oh man. And I'm looking at my own son. I have a son named Jake, and he was a trouble kid too, but now like he's a saint. He's like doesn't do bad things. He's always like listening to us. But there was a time where he was like out of control, and I'm just kind of like, huh. But that was me too in elementary school, man. I was a bully. Ever since then, never did it again, and I don't tolerate it at all.
Don't be a bully, or we're gonna put you on that bully beatdown show.
I can punch you in the face, man. I'm good at it.
Dude, so messed up. That's probably still haunts him, right? Like he can't move up in the job. He's probably that guy. He's like Tyler Durden from like was that like from Fight Club? He's that guy. Everyone just makes fun of him, and it all stems from you.
All right, let's go to next questions.
The next one says, how come Kalen is still alive? You guys said you killed him because of his condition.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that.
What? See, this is what I'm talking about. You don't tell me. If you're gonna tell me you're gonna kill me, at least let me know so I can prepare.
I know.
Like,
someone's revealing our grand plans. Next question.
Says, what do you think about ZBrush? Do you think it's amazing or do you think it's lame?
Do you either love it or you hate it? I love it. It's a great software.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. It's like it's like the future, man.
Yeah.
It's
So, what do you
great.
think about automobiles?
Next question.
Question: Did you paint profile a? Did you paint a profile of a character at Blizzard like you're painting right now?
I did actually. Oh, I didn't paint a profile, but I painted a portrait at Blizzard last BlizzCon.
Tight.
Thoughts on the comic industry? Do you like it or do you avoid the bias type superheroes? Sorry for my bad English.
I don't know enough about it to really compliment or comment on that. Uh, I don't know if that's a thing. I'm sure there is. There's always bias and sexism and stuff like that. I mean, just recently I just saw people posting about one of the astronauts wearing like a shirt with chicks with laundry on it, and they're all pissed about it. And I'm just kind of like, wait, so scientists can't wear shirts with chicks on it? Wearing lingerie? Like, what's the problem here? He wore a shirt with chicks on it. They're like half naked.
That was
But
actually the last question too. So.
but didn't we just land like a thing on an asteroid? Yeah, but the shirt. But okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at. So we have. Let me see. Did you download all the stuff in the MediaFire? Nah.
Yeah, the contest that I don't know about. Apparently, we're giving away cars like it's Oprah over here.
No, no. I feel like more people posted.
Oh yeah, totally.
There's only 5 in
Like
here.
nobody really.
You know what?
submitted
Let's postpone this because I feel like there's more people. I don't want to just kind of go off. So anyone in here who is like you guys, and I think John, just go online, go to
Yeah.
the group too, and just let them know. Say everyone has till 6 o'clock, and then we're gonna everything's carbon dated on the MediaFire, so no one can cheat. You know, just that they need to post their. Or let's just put it like 5 o'clock tomorrow, something like that,
Okay.
or till Monday. So they have till Monday. So everyone who already posted stuff, you can have till Monday to rework it or keep detailing it if you'd like.
Yeah.
But everybody has till Monday, and then we're gonna decide on Monday, and we'll post it on the group. None of y'all need to know who wins. But this is definitely me trying to get in a little bit of Carl love right here. I might do a full body. We'll see. But I'm not part of the contest. I'm the host of it. But yeah. So anyone who's
The
like
winners are AJ and John.
yeah, just always win the contest. They're like, wait a minute.
What? They won everything.
I don't think I should participate anymore. All right, guys. Thanks everyone for signing up for these streams and hanging out and watching this. Like I said, this is going to be a weekly thing. We definitely want to do it more and more and more and be on time. I think 4 to 5 on Fridays is going to be our cemented date from here on forward. I think we've kind of figured it out, ironed out the time frames. This is a good time for us. Most people can come join, and anyone who comes in late, they're always going to be recorded. We put them onto YouTube so you can watch it either here or you can watch it on YouTube, whatever is better for your connection. And I always will be doing a demo in the middle of it. Maybe next one we'll have Kayla do a demo, and this I'll just take a break. And then yeah, and so if you guys want any more information, you can just go to my website. You can hit me up on there. You can hit me up in my email. You can find all that stuff there. Or go to the website itself and get in contact with everybody. Or get in contact with John. His email's on there too. It's john.robotpencil at Gmail. Just hit him up about the event if you have any questions about hotels, food, anything. We have a lot of information that is off the website, so if anything that you don't see there, we can try to fill you in. We're still kind of updating the website as we go. So, thanks, guys, and time to go home and hang out with my kiddos. I will be posting a what the Jesus.
My dog.
You
My
like
dog has
just-
a toy. My bad. Hey,
Just
get out of here.
sounds
Go.
like you're like killing a little hamster.
I'm murdering a baby seal. No, it's my dog brought his toy and he wants to play because
Oh.
he knows when like we're starting to wrap up because my voice gets softer. So he's like, oh fuck, Kaylin's done talking. Now we can go play.
Yeah.
I'm not done. So sorry.
So I'll post the work in progress right now as a PSD on a MediaFire, so you guys can have access to it. And I think that's what I want to make a MediaFire for everything that I do on these streams, so that you guys have access to it and just can grab it and look at it and enjoy it. Yeah, thanks again, guys, and we'll talk to you guys.